You're welcome to another edition of the Market Review, where we discuss developments in the financial and capital market as it relates to the economy. Today, we'll be looking once again at the developments around the demutualization of the Nigeria Stock Exchange. As we all know, that demutualization led to the Nigeria Exchange Group, which now has three subsidiaries: the Nigeria Exchange Limited, the real estate company, Realco, and of course, the regulatory company, all under the Nigeria Exchange Group. But what are the implications for shareholders in Nigeria? That's what we're discussing today. And with me to have this interesting conversation is a notable shareholder group leader in the country and founding president of the Independent Shareholders Association of Nigeria, Sir Sunny Nwosu. Nice to have you on the program.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Let's first begin with your perspective of shareholder group leaders. I know that you've been having conversations amongst yourself on the recent demutualization of the Nigeria Stock Exchange. First, what's the common agreement in terms of the implications it has for the shareholders in the country?
Well, number one, the issue of demutualization started years back, during when the former DG, Dr. Onyike, was in office. That was when it actually started. So it dragged down and dragged until some 5 years ago or thereabouts, when we went on a conference in Abuja, where the question came around, the question is, who owns the stock exchange? So we tried to resolve it, but at that time, it was agreed with the Speaker and the President of the Senate that there would be a legislation to remove a section that has to do with Ministry of Finance and Pa Williams, who happened to be the living trustee, the only living trustee of the stock exchange. And that when this position is able to be cleared, that then the exchange will be owned by the stockbrokers and so on and so forth. That has been how the issue of demutualization, how it started. Secondly, for us as shareholders, we want to learn from jurisdiction where no one person will be allowed to have 5% of the demutualized exchange, because the platform is being used by millions of people. So we do not actually want a monopolization of the stock exchange. So that was how it started, with the current president of Nigerian Stock Exchange, on assumption of office, decided to work round the clock to ensure that the exchange is demutualized. And here we are today. The exchange is demutualized, unbonded some companies, but the practicing platform is NGX or something like that. Is the practicing platform. So which also means that most of the staff of Nigerian Stock Exchange transformed to NGS as the platform where trading is done, and the exchange itself is called NGX, which is now listed on NSE platform.
Yeah.
So it is very difficult for me to tell you categorically the decision about the holding, but of course it's been traded on. As I speak with you since the beginning of this week, they've been trading on it, and I think today's price should be around 16 naira, as against the introductory price 25 naira. We also believe that the price is on the high side, but considering the fact that it's all about capitalism, I believe time will tell, and the price will surely level up with the quality of the stock itself. So we do not have power, because we do not have the information as to who is having so percentage, how was it allocated to these people. But to the best of my knowledge of over 50 years in the capital market, I know that when there is a need to have shares listed by introduction, some directors will have to bring up the shares, which will be listed, and at whatever price is sold, the money goes back to these people that brought the shares that were listed. So for now, we do not know. Maybe by the time they are going to have their first AGM, we will see the share structure of the company. Then we will determine what they have done with it.
Definitely. I know the AGMs is the forte of shareholder group leaders like you. But very clear what you said, they need to learn from other jurisdictions that no one person controls over 5% of the exchange, and even the need to weigh it against a monopolization of the exchange. Those are very instructive opening statements on this demutualization. But when we look at this concept, does it strengthen from your comparative experience of what's happening in other climes, does this strengthen or weaken the role of shareholders?
Yeah, when you look at it, it's just like, let me take an instance of a company that is no longer quoted on the exchange, because if I use anyone that is quoted, we look as if I am advertising such company. Nigerian bottling company. Now, they listed. When they were listed, we were consuming their products, and at the end of the day, we benefit from the profit made from our own consumption by paying dividend. That is also the way we are seeing this, and that's the way it should be. That all the money that they are making from shareholders and will be transformed into profitability, and a dividend will be declared, and you will share from what you have contributed to the company. So it's okay for us, and that's all about demutualization. It's not just happening only in Nigeria, it's in so many jurisdictions. So we are only copying good corporate practice.
So in terms of the corporate governance, like you just said in our corporate governance, what would you expect to see happen more? Because the Securities and Exchange Commission will now be playing that role of corporate governance, and also knowing that the exchange will also be a player in the market. So it's not just like the role it was playing before it was demutualized, where it was an operator that's a self-regulatory organization in the market, but it's now a player in the market. What do you expect to see more in terms of corporate governance?
In the case of this, in the past, there was never an opportunity for the larger shareholders to criticize the account. It used to be only between the brokers and the council members. But in this case, it is very open that people will read their stewardship, criticize them where necessary, praise them where necessary. But I believe that there are going to be criticism, because they too were regulators, self-regulating body, that they were penalizing companies that failed to meet up with their rules and regulations. So definitely they need to be very careful, so that in reporting their stewardship, we do not see penalty for the fault from the practice and from the laid down regulations of the stock exchange. And that's why they are unbonded, and they have about 6 companies under the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The NGX is the trading floor, and that's what is quoted. And that's the one we are going to judge by criticizing their stewardship positively or negatively.
Yeah, very clear. Very clear. Look forward to those periods. But let's look at the season in terms of annual general meetings that we've been having so far in the country. How has it been? I mean, this has been a post-easing of the COVID period, and we still have a hybrid setup, not like the normal full house we used to have before the pandemic broke out. So how has it been for you and other shareholder group leaders engaging the companies to ensure that they are being held to book and they give a clear report of their activities for financial year?
There have been a lot of ill feelings by the larger shareholders that, in Nigeria today, most people do not even believe that there's COVID. And because of that doubt, because of economic stress in this country, so many people usually use the platform of AGM to move out of their homes and meet friends and make friends and listen to debates at the annual general meeting. Those things were stopped because of COVID issue. But the general opinion of the shareholders is that I have had is that after 1 year plus, that the companies and the CAC is supposed to open up the platform, for a physical AGM where we'll be able to criticize openly. But of course, those of us who are being appointed across this, we're also trying our best to ensure that we represent them very well. But the Nigerian factor, even though most of those who are kicking that they want to be at the AGM may not be a talking want, but they still want to be at the AGM, clap hands, ease, and do anything that is necessary that the occasion calls for. But the fact is that we cannot overlook the regulators' advice and the health and government agencies on this. Therefore, we just have to continue to appeal to shareholders to be patient, that at the right time, the sky will be opened. But there is also a duplication of things. If government is saying that they are allowing 500 people to meet, of course, it was very clear to them. They said event centers and all this and that. We should be able to define that of the companies and our shareholders, so that all this question of shareholders grumbling will be out of it. But however, the companies have also done well. From the records that we have seen, it's appearing that they are even doing much better in distribution of wealth, that is the dividend, than when there was no COVID. So they have done, in general terms, I will say that they have done well. You can see the results that have been chopped out. They are all well received and appreciative results. We are appealing to them on behalf of, let me use myself, I'm appealing to them on behalf of shareholders that this is the time that we need more money in our pocket, considering the economic situation. They also need more money to continue to do the work of the company. But we have to balance up these things. It should not tilt to one side and the other one. I think to answer your question straight, we're seeing a lot of fairness in what is happening.
Yeah, it's very clear because there needs to be a balance. Like you already said, Lagos State has eased to 500 gathering, but we need to also understand the implication for companies that will, and of course the CSC and the rest. But health concerns remains very key, regulations, and like you already said, the companies seem to be doing better, paying the dividends than prior to COVID. That's a very interesting one to take note of. But you said they should just pay in the funds because everyone needs money. That's true.
See, sometimes things you talk about bad side and good side.
Yes.
Some areas the coronavirus has brought some very good side, bringing in wealth to some of the segments of the companies. While in another side, it has caused a lot of pains to some of the companies.
Yes.
So that's just what we are having.
Now let's look at, this has been a discussion since last year. The Finance Act 2020 reform bill for the fiscal space discussed, the federal government is looking at an unclaimed funds, trust fund, and also the fact that they can borrow from dormant accounts and unclaimed dividend. I know over time your position every time at different AGMs where you speak and some of your colleagues about this issue. But how are you engaging fiscal authorities and other key stakeholders on this issue? What's your position? Some people have the view that we should have an unclaimed assets bill, comprehensive unclaimed assets bill, like we have in other clients like South Korea. What is your view on this?
Well, the issue is that government is running after people's money. They are not actually talking about the certificates that are also unclaimed, because the certificate and unclaimed dividend goes together. They should also ask of the unclaimed certificates, not just the money. I am totally against the action of government in this respect. I'm a respecter of laws and all this and that. Now, you will see that the CAMA 1990 prescribed a solution to unclaimed dividend. The CAMA 2020 also prescribed a solution on unclaimed dividend. Why would the government come midway and start changing the goalposts on issues like this, which is called finance bill? The major problem we are having is that most of the people taking decision on things that affect the shareholders are not shareholders. They are not interested in buying shares. So if they are shareholders, they will really understand the pain that they want to inflict on shareholders and the companies that pay this money. Now, the regulation before the finance bill 2020 is saying that after 12 years, whatever is left there is reverted back to the company, which it is expected that the company will now have more funds to work and produce more profit and dividend. Same thing, the CAMA 2020. Midway along the line, we have an audit firm that advises Ministry of Finance on issues. And I believe strongly that this audit firm, which we are still going to continue to attack, was very instrumental to advising government that they should make use of unclaimed dividend. Forgetting that government has contributed to the issue of unclaimed dividend. If you ask me how, I will tell you that most of the technical partners, who of course in some cases are having more shares than all Nigerians put together, have been finding it difficult to transfer their dividend. So which then means that if government is to play their own role as far as investment is concerned in this country, these technical people brought in imported foreign exchange, which entitles them to export the profit of their investments here. They have not been given foreign exchange cover to transfer their investment. As a result of that, it has swollen the unclaimed dividend portfolio. That's one. Two, government have not actually simplified the issue of letters of administration. And in some cases, people that apply for letters of administration do spend up to 3-4 years before they will get it.
Yes.
Then it also means that those unclaimed dividends will be there because these people died in state. Many people do not want to inform people of the secrecy that surrounds their investment. And that is why they need to simplify that issue of letter of administration. Now, postal problems are there. We don't have effective postcode in this country. We don't. Most people, by the time they change residences or offices, they hardly remember to inform the registrars. These are some of the things that contributed to unclaimed dividend portfolio. Despite that, it reduces by the day, every day, because the companies publish list of unclaimed dividend, and friends and other people who see such a list go through it and inform those that they know that you have money hanging somewhere. They will go for it. But the most important thing is that it is a relationship between two people that do not require government intervention. The intervention of government in dividend is for their taxes to be collected.
Yeah.
They collect their taxes, which is 10% withholding tax. On the corporate line, they collect 30%, sometimes more than that. Even now, they still collect tax on police reform and all this and that, educational tax, police tax, toilet tax, road tax, this and that. Why then would they show interest in unclaimed dividend? What is there? Because they have 158 billion naira there. They want to go and take it. And to worsen the matter, they said it's a perpetual loan. What is perpetual loan? It came without a coupon price. Yeah. The government every month mop up money in this country by saying federal savings bond. Yeah. And they will attach a coupon price on it. Why didn't they attach a coupon price on the one they want to borrow from shareholders and companies that paid that dividend? Why wouldn't they do that? That is just a trick. And you know, government is a legalized robber in the sense that whatever they take from people, they quickly enact a law to demobilize you from taking any action on it. So that is a legalized robber. So the reaction is yet to start. There's going to be a bigger reaction. There's going to be litigations and all this and that. We are watching until when they want to act, to say they want to collect that money from the registrars. And why are they going to the registrars? These are the registrars that they have already taken away all the money from them because they said they should not keep more than 15%. And that whatever is on claim dividend portfolio should be returned back to the company that paid it, that will invest it. Why are they going to registers? Double talk. We have a government that cannot say one thing and stand by it. So
very important that government stands its ground.
Our position about that is still intact, that we are going to fight that issue because it is not government right to steal from the people.
Yeah.
We have looked at jurisdictions.
Yes.
In UK, they have over £4 billion.
Yeah.
If you translate that by 665 naira to a pound, you know what that means.
Yes.
That have not even attracted the British government to say that they want to compulsorily take it over. In Austria, they have the same thing. In so many places, they have the same thing. The danger of all this is that investment destination to Nigeria is threatened. Okay, let's go back to the issue of dormant account. What is government headache? Dormant account is about 25 trillion naira. And this is what is circulating around. And now they also want to take it. So I think what is left for this government is to go to the beggars and say, how much did you collect today? Lend us 90% of what you have collected. As at yesterday, they still went ahead to borrow. They borrow both dollars and euro. So where are we heading to? My appeal to them is to have a rethink and leave shareholders alone. They have bastardized pension money. There is now the shareholders' money. Leave shareholders alone because you never gave them money to invest. So leave them alone. That's my advice on that.
We'll take that as your last talk, that the issue of the unclaimed dividends, the government should just once again rethink its intervention. Already we know that the Securities and Exchange Commission has its own strategy laid out on tackling unclaimed dividend. So it's very important that we follow the procedures already on ground.
I tell you something. When we appeared before the Senate committee, the apex regulator in SEC was actually canvassing something that is different from what the Minister of Finance came for.
Yeah.
And she now turned her eye to look at them. That what's all this? They were canvassing for different things. In the last 15 to 20 years, now the apex regulator have tried to set up unclaimed dividend trust fund.
Yes.
And we told them it's not their business. We went to the Senate. From Lagos, we took about 5 lorry bus load of shareholders and stormed the National Assembly and stopped it. Right from the time of Al-Faki, before Ndanusa, and all this and that. They've been trying to take that money. So, and we stopped them from doing it.
So the best approach.
So what has happened now is that there's also something that came out of apex regulator saying untraceable money should be returned to them after 24 months. And we have seen that these people do not have respect for people's money. Let the people manage their monies and let the company manage the investors. That's the way it should be.
Okay, so we'll just
the president of Nigerian Stock Exchange is Mr. Abimbola
Ogunbanjo. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So in a nutshell, let's return back to what it was under KAMA 2020, and of course follow that pattern. That's what you're proposing.
Yes.
Okay.
KAMA 1990 and KAMA 2020. The only difference between KAMA 2020 to KAMA 1990 is that the KAMA 2020 is saying that the money should go into P&L of companies that paid it. It's the same thing with KAMA 9, which says the money should revert back to the company that paid it. Of course, when it's reverting back, it's going to P&L. So there's no difference. This one is just further elaborating where it should go. The other one said, the first one said to the company that paid it.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sir Sunny Nwosu, once again for this interesting conversation looking at the demutualization of the Nigeria exchange and implications for shareholders. Really nice to get your rich insights and where you agree and where you disagree and what is the way forward for our market. Thank you once again for the time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to express the feelings of majority of the minority shareholders. And you know, again, there is application of appetite in this issue of unclaimed dividend because all the unquoted companies are excluded from this, only the quoted companies. So you also find out that some of those who are the helm of affairs directing and regulating, some of them don't even invest in quoted capital instrument. It's only unquoted issues. So it's like trying to punish those of us who are patronizing Nigerian Stock Exchange.
Yeah. Thank you once again, Sir Sunny Nwosu, the founding president of Independent Shareholders Association of Nigeria. And that'll be all for the market review program for today. To get further insight on the capital market developments, you can log on to our website, www.proshareng.com, and click on capital market to get all the developments in the market as it affects the populace and indeed shareholders too. Don't forget that this period we should stay safe. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.